Welcome, friends, to another episode of The Kingdom Within, and I hope you enjoy our adventure today. Okay, I think we need to bring it up here a little bit. There we go. Well, I'll tell you. Oh, did you hear that big boom? Somebody's over here shooting at a deer. Hopefully I'm not behind what they're shooting at, right? I just started doing this Kingdom Within, sitting in a chair and talking, and then every now and then doing something else, but now I'm thinking about moving on and trying to figure out the next thing. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just coming along here. I don't have a clue on what it is I'm doing. I just keep doing it nonetheless. Because I can. And because I can, I will. That's what I've learned. I've learned that it doesn't even matter. It just is what it is. Unless it's not. Because that's what the Holy Spirit's taught me. It didn't give me the truth. It's just taken all truth from me and made me realize that I'm here for God, because God's my creator and He created me for Him, just like He created you for Him. But I was spending my life being selfish and I wasn't thinking about Him or you, and at one point I started realizing that, well, I wasn't thinking properly and decided I was going to think a new way. After that experience He gave me, my life's about giving to God what it is that He'd want for Himself, and that's love. And, well, I want Him to use my life for whatever it is He wants to use it for, and I don't know His will except for when I do. Tell you, friend, I'm walking into them shotguns. I can hear it. But I'm walking down here to the edge of the creek, and I'm kind of got my mind set on being out on that dock, so hopefully it won't cost me my life. But like I told you, I've spent my whole life being afraid of everything, scared to death. And this Holy Spirit's given me courage when I had none, because I wouldn't be out here in the woods, especially during hunting season. So I just don't worry anymore. The Holy Spirit showed me that life was meant to be lived, but the only real reason to live it is for the both of us. Because I'm not truly at peace unless I'm with the Father. And when I'm with the Father, then I am truly at peace. It's beautiful out here. There's just nothing better than being out here in nature, looking at what God created. To me, it's worth doing whatever I have to in order to make this life work. The Holy Spirit's blessed me with the fact that He's taught me how to love and forgive, and I don't have to be alone anymore. Even when I'm out here, I'm not alone anymore. I'm with my Father and this Holy Spirit, and I just get to enjoy this nature and the beauty of it, and it makes for an amazing life. And I know there's nothing special going on, and you wouldn't know one thing from the next, but love's the only thing that ever mattered. The purpose of the world is to come to know love by experience. That's what I know. It's almost a little cool out here along this creek. There's a breeze, and I didn't bring my sweatshirt. I'm just wearing my shirt and t-shirt underneath. So I think we're going to head for the hills where we can get out of the breeze a little bit. And you know what I didn't do? I didn't get any water when I was down there, and I'm going to run out of coffee, and I didn't fill my water thing down at the creek, my Sawyer. Which I left that Sawyer in the car last night. Thankfully, it only got down to a low of 46, Google said. Because if it gets down to freezing, once the Sawyer filter freezes, then it's no longer any good. See, and this is, what's in this bottle right now is creek water. I get it out of creeks, ponds, it doesn't matter, streams, whatever. I just get any old body of water, and it's got this Sawyer filter on there, and it's wonderful. I just started using it. I got it a long time ago, never got around to using it, and thought, man, I paid all that money for that thing and I never used it. Well, I was just building up to it. Now that I'm getting ready to start van life, well, it's more important than ever, because in van life, I'm going to be out sometimes, with a little luck, away from civilization for weeks at a time, and it'll be nice. I don't have to worry about getting dehydrated. All I got to do is whip out the old Sawyer filter, find the local creek next to my van, and fill up water. And I can just drink water like that all day, every day, just like they do on the Appalachian Trail and those other trails. That's their water supply. They use those Sawyers. That's how I learned, was watching those trails, because I was thinking about hiking the Appalachian Trail, actually. And what I found was that I'm a little older, and I might do it yet, because I'm getting younger by the minute. It turns out this Holy Spirit's given me courage beyond courage, and, well, the idea of camping out in the middle of nowhere in the woods with bears wasn't exactly my idea of fun. However, I used to not love being anywhere, and now I'm out hiking with bears in the woods sometimes when I go down to Virginia and the like. So I'm no longer really worried about that. And I know I'm out there with bears and mountain lions. I know they're still around. In fact, they found some on the East Coast. And so, you know, it is what it is. There's still not a bunch of them, but it only takes one to eat you. My thought of Satan, which is my ego, whatever you want to call it. We all call it different things. I call it thought of Satan because I talk in the terms of Jesus. Well, that thing just has no power over me, except the power I give it. And I've come to realize that that's the reason the Holy Spirit gave me that death. Because every time I go to be afraid and say I'm not going to do something, Holy Spirit says, well, you willing to give me that death? And what's it matter? Maybe that's the way I'm doing it. So I just I don't live by fear anymore, because if I'm willing to give him that death, then it just doesn't matter which way I die, because ain't none of them going to be pretty. Unless, of course, it is. Who knows? What he showed me was that I had to agree to that death, because that takes that power from that thought of Satan, because it no longer can run my life and acting like it's something, because that thought of Satan's nothing, you know? And it has no power except the power you give it. That's what Jesus told you, and he was right. The thing is, if you don't have this thought of the Holy Spirit, well, then you're kind of out here alone on your own, and it's hard to have courage when you've got none, and I was one that had none. So I've just learned that this Holy Spirit gives me courage, and it's not that the fear isn't there, but he puts it in my peripheral. If I'm talking to the Holy Spirit and I'm staying with the Spirit, well, then I see the fear, but it's over my peripheral, and he gives me the courage to get through things. Because like right now, I'm going through a bunch of stuff with this, looking at moving into van life, and well, the finances didn't go the way they were supposed to, but nothing ever does. That's the way that works. So I'm finding myself in not the position I wanted to be making this move, which makes me question everything, including my faith and whether I hear from the Holy Spirit. But the Holy Spirit has assured me that I'm going to get through this just fine, and that if he gave me a free ticket, well, then it wouldn't be faith, and that I have to just ride along with this and just know that it's going to work out just fine. Because the truth of the matter is, friend, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether it works out or not. And I've learned that the only point to my life is when I give it, and when I give it is the one that God gives it, because, well, when God gives it to me, I have more courage, and joy and peace and love in my life that I do when I'm trying to give it meaning for myself, because I'm not very good at that. Friends, I'm going to show you this view I've got, because this is one of the reasons I love this trail. This is the amazing view. So, as you can see, let me see if I can hold my stick with my arm and get you a upper close view. Up close and personal with that water. Now I'm way up the hill, as you can see. Up, wrong direction. Up, my battery's about dead. Well, folks, it turns out the battery doesn't last forever on that other little camera that I've had forever, sitting in the closet doing nothing for a few years. Okay, see, the other camera I can't really tell. This one I can get a better idea on where my head's at, because now I'm looking at myself. That's great. I do like that. The other one, though, is lighter than this one. That was great. Now right there's the... See, there's hunters out here. You can see that there's a... hunting stand right there. Now, I didn't think they were supposed to be able to hunt out here, but what do I know? Turns out they are. Turns out some of the parks in Montgomery County allow hunting. Oh, here's a great view. Maybe I'll go ahead and get a shot of that. Guys, this might be one of the most amazing views all day that I'm going to get, so I'm going to take a video here. Well, I went off trail. Because I did, I paid the price. Now I'm going to have to get this stuff off of me. You can see that I got these, I've got the camera too far up. But anyway, you can see that I got those hitchhikers all over me now. I wasn't paying attention to where I was walking, and I decided to go off the beaten path, and that always... You pay the price when you go out off the beaten path sometimes with hitchhikers, or you never know. That's the second time I had to do that, because the first time I forgot to turn the record on. I don't even know why I did it. I just felt like I could. I probably won't put it on the screen, but you never know. I'm just doing this to have fun, and I'm enjoying creating videos, even though I don't know how. I'm learning, though, one step at a time. I've enjoyed doing this Kingdom Within, that's for sure. And, well, I feel like I'm doing God's will doing it, and I'm having a good time, and the two combined makes for a really joyful lifestyle, friend. So anyway, I'm going to get back on the trail. I just thought I would do that with the camera and see what would happen, and when I go home and pull it off a recording. All right. Well, I was just taking and recorded this for some B footage, which is basically just filler footage. I'm just learning these things. But anyway, this is the hill I'm climbing, and so I'm part way up. I started way down there. So I all of a sudden realized, well, I should try to climb and talk on this thing and see how that works, because as you know, I'm just testing this thing out, trying to figure out what it is I'm doing and how it is I'm going to do. Got to be careful though, because I'll tell you what, the footing is not good with all these dead leaves. Makes everything slippery because they just slide. So if your foot doesn't find some roots or rocks to get dug into, well, it can be let's just say I don't want to leave here in an ambulance. But it's worth it because I love it out here. You just got to take your time and be careful. I've got nowhere to go and all day to get there. That's the way I try to do it. There it is. The hill's behind me, for the most part. I'm almost to the top. There we go. Now we got is a slight incline to the next section. I'll tell you what, that water you just saw me get out of the creek, I think it's time to drink some creek water. This is the greatest thing ever. I absolutely love it out here. Most of the time I don't want to return. Tell you what happens. I'm at the place where when I'm helping people, that's good. I don't mind being around people. But I don't like to be around useless talk anymore. Less and less, because I'll tell you, when I get to talking about things that have no meaning, well, then I end up letting my tongue betray me. And then I start getting thoughts again that I got rid of because the Holy Spirit's taken all those thoughts that used to haunt me, because I don't talk about them and I don't think about them. And every time thoughts come to my mind that I don't want, I put them in front of my Father and ask Him to look at them for me. And we'll look at them together and see why it is I'm having them. He'll give me forgiveness for having the thought, and then I can let it go and go back to thinking something good. And this isn't an easy task. I make it sound like it's really easy, and it really is, because He'll do it for you, but it takes some commitment on our behalf to receive this Holy Spirit and to change our lives. But to keep it changed, I'm under no illusion I can never go back to being the person I was and go back to acting like selfishness works, because it doesn't. And if I have to choose that, then I have to choose that thought of Satan. I'm just not doing it. So I'm kind of in a new place in my life now that my Father showed me the truth of who He is. I'm just doing and being what it is that He wants me to be, because that's what's more important to me in my life, and that means love and forgiveness is the path. It's the only thing that matters to me anymore. And so when I can help people That's a worthy cause. That's a worthy conversation. When I talk about love, but I got to be careful because when we get to talking about stuff that doesn't matter, we end up saying things that we don't want to be true. Like, I found that what you think about, you bring about, and that's what the Holy Spirit showed me, is that if I want to have those nasty thoughts, sooner or later they're going to haunt me. But I don't have to have them. I can give them to Him, and He gives me better thoughts. And so now He takes my thoughts from me so that I don't have to have them. But if I go back and hang out with people that I used to and do the things I used to do, well, then I'm going to end up with the same thoughts I used to have because they're going to expect me to be the person I was then. So what happens is, as I've evolved in my life, I've had to have the people around me evolve too, meaning that they're different ones. And now I'm at a different place. I'm at this place where I believe that I talk to the Holy Spirit. And, well, you can imagine I don't have a whole lot of people that really buy into that. But it doesn't matter because it turns out God's the best company. This Holy Spirit's the best thing ever. And so when I'm out giving love and teaching the truth of love and the love of truth, and I'm interacting with people, but I'm not interacting with people in a way that is harmful to me. So I'm trying not to end up in places where we end up having conversations and jokes that, because I'm telling you, friend, I didn't come from the light. I come from the dark. I'm not here to tell you how righteous I am. I'm telling you, I've got zero righteousness. Everything that's been done for me, my Father did for me. My thoughts were horrible. I couldn't even stand my own thoughts. That's the way it was. I was always feeling guilty about them. Even when I was being a good person, I still had these thoughts that would show up out of the middle of nowhere, and I'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm thinking about that. And then I'd get rid of it, and then another thought would come, and well, then I'd feel guilty about those thoughts, and then I'd beat myself up for it. And it wasn't even that I wanted to think about stuff, just things come to your mind. So what I've learned is that, well, we don't have to worry about that. We can let the Holy Spirit take these thoughts that we have and give us new ones. Friend, I'm heading up on top of the thing, but I do want to show you this. So I am on top of the hill, and down there's the creek that we were next to. So we're way up here now. I'm not looking, but I'm assuming that I got you a good footage of that because I didn't flip it all around and do all that crazy stuff at the moment. In fact, okay. So this Holy Spirit is the greatest thing ever because it's given me this love and joy in my life that I just can't have without it, because my own thoughts will cause me guilt. But if I don't have to keep my thoughts, I can let Him have me because He has them. Well, He gives me new ones. And that means when I'm with folks and if I start having bad thoughts because people are talking about things that I don't want to talk about. But when I say bad thoughts, friend, I don't mean horrible thoughts. I mean, Jesus said that if you think of sleeping with your neighbor's wife, then you're guilty of adultery. Friend, I was guilty of adultery. My mind was full of that type of thing. And now I made this commitment to God that He's kind of my spouse, and I don't know, I don't know what He has for me down the road. But right now, a relationship would get in the way of my relationship with the Holy Spirit because, well, He'd tell me to go to the woods, and they'd be like, what do you mean go to the woods? You got to pay attention to me. So I'm better off with this relationship with God, where I do what He asks, and I'm free. And that doesn't mean that would be the right decision for other people. You see, God's willing to meet us right where we're at, but I told God I wanted to know the truth of who He was and the purpose of the world, and I was willing to die in order to live because, well, I hated my life. It's not that I hated my life. I hated things that were happening sometimes, but what happened was I hated looking out at this world and watching everybody kill each other in the name of God, watching each other hurt each other. Those that proclaim righteousness have none, and they're busy spewing their hate at the others, and everybody's claiming to have the truth, and all of them's got nothing but lies. And so it just upset me, and I couldn't find God because Every time I looked at all this insanity and all of his followers and all the different faiths, they made me want to puke, to be quite honest with you. Especially those that follow Jesus and then go out and kill in his name. That one kind of hurts my heart. Because, well, I don't know. The things we do in the name of God is insane. Oh my goodness, look at this view. Holy macaronis. I'm going to turn this around. Isn't that amazing? I almost feel like I should put it on the tripod. Here, I'll try to see if I can zoom in, but running water down there is so beautiful. So that's why I come out here. Because everything's just so beautiful, and the relationship with him is the most important thing to me. And I'd rather talk to you on video about the truth of love and the love of truth than to talk to somebody in real life about something that doesn't have any meaning to me, because, well, meaningless conversation is just meaningless. And let's face it, in this country there's two things you're not supposed to talk about. That's politics and religion. It's the only two things that could change your life, friend, is your relationship with God and to make a better country. And the two things that would actually be worth talking about in this nation, we're expected not to talk about it. So I've really got nothing to say at this point anymore. So if you see me and don't want to talk about love, then I might not be your man to talk to, because I'm going to want to talk about this Jesus, this love of Christ, this joy. But I'm not going to also, I'm probably sound controversial, because you're going to say it's one thing, I'm going to say it's the other. I understand why people don't want to talk about it, because it is very controversial. That's how I grew in my relationship with God, is I did it by having conversations and debates with others. I've seen that in the Jewish religion. They actually have like debating sessions where they sit down and they debate faith. They debate their truths with each other. I think that's great. Because what's happened is, when I'm able to debate my faith and talk to somebody, I mean, I'm not talking about fight, but I'm talking about we both have our own truth, and we can passionately and accept that each of us are going to be different. But what happens is, it teaches me that I know my truth, and that my truth is mine. And if they have a truth that I didn't think about, it allowed me to grow, and that's how I grew in my faith. Now I pretty much have the faith I want and need, because it just is what it is. So, friends, we are at the top of Outlook Point. Now, I'm a real fan of getting too close to this edge, but with the leaves off, this will be the first time you really get a good view. So we're probably up here 100 feet, maybe 200 feet, I'm not sure. Didn't look that far. I took photos from down there on the other side, right over there, the other day. And I'll tell you, I'd like to stand closer to that edge, but with these slippery leaves, I just don't want to slip off that edge, because as you see, there's lots of leaves everywhere, and that edge is right there. Actually, what I can do is, I forgot, I do have you on a pole, so I can actually get you a little closer to the edge than I'm going. Let me get a little closer here, and then I can just take and put you out there with it. So there it is. There's looking down. So these are some of the views I get out here. They're just amazing. And normally I don't get to give them to you, because usually I just sit in that chair and do the kingdom within. But I didn't know how to do the editing, and I didn't know how to do this and do that. And I'm learning. Slowly but surely. The Holy Spirit has given me the courage to just keep coming and to keep doing it right. It turns out the Holy Spirit isn't what I thought it was. It turns out that it isn't about healing bodies and making the sick well. That's what Jesus did. That's not my purpose. My purpose is to talk about the truth of love and love of truth and share every bit of joy I can with other people. And sometimes it's one way and sometimes it's the other, and I just follow this Holy Spirit and do what it asks. And one of the ways it does is it wants me to give you the joy that I have out here by sharing it with you. So if for some reason you can't come out into the woods, but you would like to, well, now you've been to the top of the Outlook Peak here in Evansburg State Park, even if you've never been here before. And what I'm hoping is that if you can do it physically, that it might encourage you to come out into nature and try some stuff out. Have faith in God that He's going to take care of you, and step out into the world and try something new. That's what I'm doing. I'm just trying new things because, well, I'm just tired of being afraid, that's all. Here comes another view, friend. I'm telling you, it's just amazing. Let me just take a few more steps so I can give you a really good view of it. Okay. The other day, I was up here and I did a video, and I come in the morning really early and it was blue skies, it didn't have all the cloud, and the sun was sparkling on that water so bright, and I was at the video and further up here back down on the other part of the trail. So I was looking up the creek and from up above, and it was just all shiny and sparkly, and it was amazing. It'll take me hours to edit this, but it'll be worth it. And I'm going to figure out exactly how to do this, because right now I'm talking to myself. I'm encouraging me. You can do it, friend. The Holy Spirit says you can do it. So that's the way this works. See, here we go again. I can't see what you're looking at, but I will in a second. There we go. See, we were up over there on that point, overlooking with cliff over the water. So anyway, friend, I guess I might do another B section here. In fact, I should have done that up top. I might go back and do that. This is as close as I'm going to get to that edge, because the edge is right there. Right here is where it just starts falling off, and well, I get nervous. I actually stood here and did a Kingdom Within episode back in the summer when the leaves were on. You wouldn't have been able to tell that cliff was there. But what I did was I stood here, and you can't see it the way I've got the camera, but there's a root right here that sticks up, so I kind of locked my foot on it so that I didn't feel like I would fall. And then I just stood here and talked, and I had the camera much closer. But so I felt pretty sturdy that way. Reached the top of the Outlook Point, which was kind of the destination for the day. So now the journey is going to start. I'm going to start my journey back, and I'll tell you, I'm about out of camera, so I already killed the battery in the first video, and now the second camera is about done. So anyway, thank you for watching another episode of The Kingdom Within, and know that I love you because my Father loves you. May God bless you and yours.